Recording. 3, 2. Welcome back to Cover 1, everybody. This is the state championship Cover 1. I'm your host, James Bouligny. I got my co-host, Paul Harris, with me. Paul?
Hey, what's up, James?
What are you doing? How you doing? How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing great. Man, it's so awesome to see Wall win the state championship last night. Everybody that I saw in the Contra Valley is pumped up about it. In my little town, Ballinger, people were asking me about it. So, you know what? I mean, it was just so good that they got it done. I knew it was a special team. It was so good to see him bring it home.
Yeah, in case you missed it, the Wall Hawks are state champions. We all watched the game last night on Victory Plus, and it was as good a game as I thought it was going to be. I knew that Newton had two dudes at running back. They had more than that last night. I think they ended up having over 300 yards on the ground, and they just ground on Wall. They also ground time off the clock, and that helped in the end. Wall jumped out to a 25-8 lead at halftime, and then Newton held them scoreless in the second half, but that defense kept making plays, and absolutely incredible. We're going to go through some highlights while we talk about and discuss the game. Paul, we kicked off. What'd you think? First return, first bit of the game. Newton deferred to the second half. Wall got the ball. Did you think they were going to score on that first drive?
You know, I got a lot of confidence in Wall's offense, of course, but when I saw them go for the wide receiver pass from Reed Robertson,
The double pass?
I mean, he throws a beautiful pass, to Kellen Oliver for 42 yards, I think it was, on the first play of the game. And, man, that gave me a good feeling. I was like, all right, they're coming out. They're being aggressive. They set a real tone, I felt like, with that play. I think they scored in 4 plays.
Yep, Jacob Braden ran in. You can see it right now. Jacob Braden ran this in. Usually a defensive guy, but they put in their big package out there and just slammed away on them. They went up 7-0. Newton got out there, though, ran down the field. Ended up scoring there. I think it was KJ Porter who scored. No, it was Samuel who scored. One of their guys out there. Just a great running back. Yeah, they have some real talent out there in Newton. But this Wall defense really stepped up. You saw Gavin Sisson. He was MVP for the defense. He was all over the place. What do you think of his performance last night?
Yeah, there's so many good players on this defense, and maybe he's not the one that you would have picked as the guy, but man, what a game. He was just all over the field. Every time there was a big play, there he was. You see him. And then, of course, on special teams, too. He made the play, one of the plays of the game on special teams, but well-deserved. He made one big play after another on one of the best defenses in the state, and man, great job to him. Played the game of his life last night.
Yeah, that was our Chadwick was moving down the field, and he missed that blocked punt. He blocked the punt. Dylan Sellers recovered the ball, ran in for a score, and Newton was maybe suddenly, whoa, this Wall team's here to play. And just all night, they harassed that quarterback, Isaiah Foster, who played a really good game. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a freshman, right?
He is a freshman. He only threw one interception all year long until the state game where he threw his second.
Right, and I know running the ball is what they do, but yeah, I mean, he did a great job for them. But golly, man, when they were forced to pass the ball, man, that Wall defense got after him. I mean, there was one play where he's in the end zone. I thought he was about to get dropped for a safety, and he managed to get the ball off. So I mean, he did a commendable job, and that is scary that there's 3 more years of having to deal with this kid. So the rest of the state's gonna have to be careful.
Yep, and then halftime came around, and Wall was up 25-8. What were you feeling there at halftime?
Well, I mean, I guess I knew Newton was going to respond, and I also knew that Wall's strength is passing the ball. And man, it's so hard to run the ball on that defense of Newton's. That defensive line was physical and dominant, man. As good of an offensive line as Wall has.
Yeah, Ivan Gaston and Justin Bray Jr. both were that right side of the line was terrifying. And they harassed York all night long. They did a really good job of getting him off center, and York obviously got them there and has played outstanding, but had a few overthrows last night, but made plays when it counted. But credit to that defense for playing as well as they did to affect York and his passing.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that he was just rattled a little bit. He's used to having a nice pocket to throw in, and man,
right.
But I can't say enough about Wall's play calling. I just thought all night long They had they pushed the right buttons when they need to. Landon York would have a run here or there. You know, they have a wide receiver screen. They were aggressive when they needed to be. But that Newton defense was for real, and you kind of knew that they were going to punch back. You kind of knew they were going to get back into the game, and they did. And Wall's offense, I mean, pretty crazy that after they went up 25-8 late in the first half, they never scored again. Just an absolutely incredible job by the defense. But not only that, Wall, they did drive it down to the 9-yard line at one point and just couldn't punch it in, and the field goal missed, you know. So it wasn't like Wall was just completely stymied in the second half. They did move the ball some, and they kept the pedal to the metal. They were trying to be aggressive, you know. They kept trying to do what they do. But man, a lot of credit to Newton to shut out the Wall offense for a half of football. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, do you think that maybe Slaughter and that coach staff outcoached the Newton coach a little bit?
No disrespect to Newton, but I just thought, man, and of course I had a lot of respect for the way that Wall handled it in the Gunter game. You know, they right. All year long I felt like when they needed to be aggressive, they weren't scared to go for it on fourth down at any point this year. They called a great game against Gunter, I thought, last year in the state semifinals before Gunter took over late. You know, but man, all three phases, you know, were great for Wall, but especially the coaching. I think that was a difference. Wall coached a heck of a game last night. Can't say enough about him.
Yeah, something happened with the highlights on the computer here, but you should still be seeing highlights. I'm gonna cut it in afterwards. Yeah, but I'm gonna agree. I think I'm not again, no disrespect, but they knew their bread and butter was running the ball, and they were having success on the ground. And that's what you do. You stick with what's working. You know, you don't try to change it up. You don't want to throw something completely new at your team when they're not prepared for it. And I'm not saying they weren't. They could have been. But it's working. We're getting these good plays on the ground. Let's keep grinding on them. We'll wear this defense out. Our defense will go out there and make a play. You know, they had an interception. They picked York off. You know, and they did have to punt several times. There was another play there that Levi King went out there and had to punt, and he was punting from his end zone and had a fantastic punt, you know, to pin him back.
Yeah, I think it was a 62-yard punt. That was absolutely huge because they're punting from their 2-yard line, so yeah, right. Not much room at all. I mean, those are gigantic plays. You don't think about a punt being a big play, but it was, and I think that was a real difference in the game. Was Wall's special teams was better than Newton's special teams.
I was just about to bring up special teams. You got 3 phases. They all had to be playing well. Offense played well. Defense played well, and special teams played outstanding. You know, you had the block punt. They had good returns on kickoffs all night, and then their punt. You know, if you're able to flip the field and pin that team back and make them drive the field, they're taking 5 minutes off because they're running the ball.
Right.
That shortens the game. I thought Wall played an outstanding game. I thought they had a great plan going in, and they stuck to that plan, and they showed that resilience they showed against Gunter. You know, you came out in the third quarter and you had -7 yards. You know, Newton did an outstanding job in that second half, but you stayed the course and you kept getting towards that finish line. Slowly but surely you got there, and you're champions now. And this is so important for the Contra Valley. I think this win was first win for Tom Green County in what, 60 years?
In 59 years since the 1966 Bobcats. That's right.
59 years. And it's just the Contra Valley in general. Last time we had a state champion was Sterling City, and before that it was Mason, right?
Right. Now, so for 11-man state titles, they've been few and far between. You know, in the last quarter century, you've got the 2000 Sonora Broncos, 2011 Mason Punchers, 2018 Mason Punchers, and now the Wall Hawks joined them. And now we've, of course, had a lot more 6-man success with Richmond Springs, of course, Sterling City, Panther Creek. But 11-man state titles, I mean, it's tough out here. You know, I mean, all the power, you know, was kind of moved east. And if we've had some great teams up in the Panhandle like Canadian and whatnot, you know, but we don't see a lot of these out here like we used to. And so it's special. And I think the whole Concho Valley was pulling for Wall. I really do.
Yeah, I think everybody was too. I mean, I went and bought the shirt. I was super excited for them. I went out there for their send-off. I was trying to talk to Slaughter. Hey, go give them hell. Bring it home. It's just another game. I know it's in Jerry World, and you got the big Jumbotron, and you got the field, and it's really cool if you've never been there. But Wall didn't let any of that get to them. They stayed the course, got the victory. Very excited for those guys. And let's talk about that Wall program real fast. They won state baseball this year, back in the summer. Now they won football, got a great basketball team, great track team, track athletes. We got to start looking at Wall for some sort of something. That Lone Star Cup needs to be looking at them too.
Yeah, well, they've won the Lone Star Cup once or twice, and that's one of my favorite achievements, really, because it is across the board athletically and even academically. Which Wall does that well too. I mean, because it brings in the one-act play and the UIL academics, all that stuff. And I mean, Wall excels in just about everything. I mean, it really is a great school, great community, and I think that's the thing about this matchup with Newton. A lot of times, our teams will run into some of these other schools that have speed that we don't see, and that wasn't the case with Wall. This is the track team that got second at state last year. They almost won the state track meet. So Wall had the athletes, and they had that pedigree. They won state in golf. They won state in baseball. A lot of those baseball kids were on the football team.
Yeah, Wall's a small school. They all play all the sports. They're all used to playing in those high-pressure situations.
Right. So it's nothing new to them. They play in these big games. And, I think we knew this was a special team. I mean, they came close last year. They were up by 15 on Gunter last year. We knew this team had a chance to be special. We all kind of felt like maybe they should have been number one in the state. Maybe this was the favorite all along. And once they took down 3-time defending state champion Gunter, you just hoped that wasn't the mountaintop, that they didn't let down after that. Because, man, I mean, Newton scored 74 in the state semifinals, So for them to go in there and contain that offense, and for all the rushing yards that Newton had, they didn't break off 50-yard runs and stuff like that. Wall contained it, and just a special football team. And like you said, just the whole athletic department and even beyond, just athletically or academically, there's something special out there. And it's great to see the football program finally put that cherry on top. That's the one thing that had been maybe missing was the football state championship, and now they got that too.
Yep. We're all excited for Wall. And we're going to hear a quick word from Craig Slaughter after the game. Chadwick pulled him to the side, and we got a great interview with him. Let's go to that real fast.
I'm here with state champion, head coach of the Wall Hawks, Craig Slaughter. Coach, I've been covering you all year. We have these talks each and every single week. Each week you talked about going out to play Wall Hawk football. Now that that formula, that strategy, that method has been proven. You are state champions. Coach, give me overall thoughts, man.
Dude, I mean, I don't know when it'll soak in. To be honest, even for me, I don't know if it soaked in until we pulled up and you see Jerry World. And it's like, it gets more real because at practice it just, the kids were cranked up, but, it's, I don't know, it doesn't really soak in till you get here. And I don't know if it's soaked in yet. I mean, I still got people to hug and text and think and just, I'm so happy for that team to get that for that community because I love that team and I love that community. And, to be a part of the first team that ever took that chip down is just, it's amazing. And, there's only one first time and, and by God, the 2025 team got it done.
It's almost poetic, really, that it was your defense that really had to bring it home for them. I'm not taking anything away from the offense at all, but in that second half, that your defense stepped up and made the plays when it mattered, even when Newton's making those super athletic 4th and 16 catches.
No.
Talk about your guys on defense.
Again, all year have been absolutely amazing. Just probably overshadowed at times by an amazing explosive offense. I do. I think amazing, tough, physical, aggressive defense travels. I don't care who you are, who you play. If you have athletes, which we do, and I just, I knew that we were going to slow these guys down. I mean, nobody's got us, to just shoot us up. I mean, they're too good of players, so I wanted their toughness to have a chance to show, and my God did it. We did a great job on the explosive play. Even the 98-yard drive, it was 16 plays. Dude, if you'd have told me driving here, they'd have a 16-play drive, I'd say, awesome, good for them. We gave them nothing. I mean, those kids played physical and cranked up, and it was they executed our plan perfect. I mean, they're amazing kids.
Let's talk about the fact that this is your second year as the head coach, but you've been a head coach at other places. For you personally, what does this mean for you?
Dude, I wouldn't say validation, but there's some of those years where, dang, I thought I was doing a pretty good job, and you're trying to win 4 or 5 or 6 games. You know, you need, and all those teams I've had, there was some good players, you know, but it's kind of different here because we have a ton of good players, you know, and that God Almighty, does that make your scheme work? Does that make your special teams work? You know, and just all the things you do. You know, man, I'm happy for my family. I can't imagine my mom and dad and wife in that crowd, you know, just getting to watch me be a part of that, you know, because they've been with me every step of the way. You know, I mean, my wife is just an amazing human being that I know she's happy and proud, and she probably can't put it into words, but I mean, you know, it's an honor. And when I know I saw some pictures this week, I couldn't look at them like it was that trophy picture, one of those somebody sent me. Dude, it makes it too real. And I mean, I would lose my composure. On the way home tonight, at some point, I'm going to look through some of these pics people have sent me and, you know, just highlights of this game, you know, and just enjoy it and relish in it. And I mean, it's amazing, man.
So I know I tell you every single week that I cover you, all right, Coach, go enjoy the win.
Yeah.
There are no more games now. Like, you truly reached the pinnacle. So what's next for these guys, and what's next for you right now?
Dude, hey, you know what? Pregame, a lot of times my speech is we're fighting for our right to do it again. Today, we're fighting. There's nobody left. Are we one or are we two? You know, let's go find out. You know, man, it's weird because football took the whole first semester. You know, we don't have school tomorrow. You know, it's Christmas break, and you know, it is. I hate the end of it because Landon York will go to the left to go to his truck, and I'll go to the right to go to off season. You know, I mean, it's bittersweet. But I mean, I'll forever hold those guys, you know, in my heart for what they did and the program they were a part of and the team they were and the kids they were. And again, even if that game doesn't go our way tonight, those guys were the blueprint. But they were dedicated, committed, hardworking, team-oriented, unselfish. I mean, they check all those boxes. You know, they were the blueprint to how to go get the most out of your talent. And it was a talented team that we knew had a chance to be here. And by God, we got here, and by God, we found a win.
All right, Coach. Well, I'll say it one more time. Congrats, and enjoy the win.
Thank you. Go Hawks.
All right, there you have it, Coach Slaughter. Great win for him. He's only lost, what, 2 games?
Just 2 games since he took over.
2 games since taking over 2 years ago? What a beat there. It's like 95%. Great. Happy for him. Happy for the team. You know, Rob Londerholm making those calls on offense. Those are some ballsy calls. We got to talk about that real fast. The 4th down calls where you're throwing touchdowns. You just don't see that aggressiveness, you know. Usually, you're just trying to play it safe, but Wall says, man, let's just go for it. And that is definitely a coach that Wall wants to hold on to. And I bet he had some suitors come this offseason, you know. What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised, you know. I mean, every time that there was this make or break play, they just always seemed to make it. They weren't conservative. They were confident, and that they believed, you know. And even like, last night on that 4th and goal from the 4, I'm kind of thinking, just take the points, you know. Maybe just trot Kleinsmith out there, get that field goal, and then they went out there and did a hard count and called timeout. I was like, okay, they're gonna take the field goal, and then they send the offense back out there. I was like, oh God, you know. And then they dialed up the right play, you know, to hit Reed Robertson, and that was a huge play. And in a game where you win by 1 point, the field goal wasn't the right play. They knew we need the touchdown here. We're down here. Let's get the touchdown. And you got the defense that if you don't make it, you know, maybe the defense can make them have to drive, you know. So, but I can think of just a handful of 4th down calls that not only did they go for it, but they got it just over and over and over. So. Love the aggression, love the play calling. I
can think of 3 right off the top of my head.
Oh, yeah.
Deep in the playoffs against a championship caliber team year in and year out where it's 4th down and they threw a touchdown.
Right. That 4th and 2 play against Gunter is going to live on in legend. I mean, what a play to go for it all. Not like, oh, let's run a slant here and try to get a few yards. They just take a deep shot, went for all of it. And Reed Robertson, man, what a weapon that dude is. You know, just over and over, he was the guy, and very deserving of offensive MVP honors last night. I thought the voters got it right with Sisson and Reed Robertson. Those are the 2 guys that made the biggest plays last night. They deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yeah, I'm happy for him. And again, Newton, all credit to him, man. It was probably the best game at State so far.
I think so.
I mean, Newton went out there down 25-8 and came storming back in the second half. Got to give him credit there. You know, they just like Wall, they stayed the course, and it's 4th and 1. You have an offensive penalty, 15-yard penalty, backs you up 4th and 16, and you throw a touchdown.
And the quarterback got hurt on the 4th and 1.
It was their running back throwing. It was Samuel throwing to Porter down the field.
And so, yeah, credit to Newton. They said, hey, we're going to get it to our best guy. We're gonna throw it to Porter, our running back, and let our best guy on the field make the play. And he did. I mean, double coverage. Can't say enough about that play. That was crazy. And my heart kind of dropped, and I was like, oh, God. I mean, I'm thinking once they stop this 4th and 16, and you know, Newton's not a passing team, it's the best situation you could really ask for. Wall's about to win the state championship, and suddenly they score a touchdown. Then they get the 2, and I was like, all right, well, hopefully nothing crazy happens on this onside. Great onside. It bounces up.
Yeah, let's talk about that onside kick.
It could have gone anywhere. I felt like once it hopped over Wall, and then for a moment there, I thought Newton was going to jump on it, you know, and then I thought a Wall guy missed it, and I was like, oh, God. And then Jacob Braden, you know, said, I don't think so. You know, he got on it. And you ain't taking the ball out of his hands at the bottom of the pile. I don't think so. He didn't let go of that ball, and that secured it, you know. But that was scary.
You think Slaughter told him, hey, let him score this touchdown. Let's keep the fans in it.
Maybe so. The final score looks really good. I like that 25-24 final score.
Yeah,
fitting into the season.
Yeah, I like it too. And what I don't like though is all the talk now. It seems like people are trying to take credit away from Wall, 'cause it's all, you know, oh, well, I think Newton was the better team. Well, hang on now. You have 2 teams that played their ass off last night. They were both in it till the very end of the game. And you take away the block punt for a touchdown, it's a different game. Yeah, you can say that about any game.
Right.
Every game you could say, oh, well, if the Cowboys score here, it's a different game. If the Broncos, you know, defend this play, it's a different game. Of course it is. But there's 3 phases to the game, and I really feel like Wall's special teams set them apart last night.
Yeah, it was just a great game. There was big plays all over the place in that game, and you could, you know, pick out a play here or there, and if this goes a little different, then maybe Wall runs away with it. But, you know, it was what it was. There was great games to the very end, and that's all you can ask for is, you know, it goes down to the last possession, to the last minutes like that. It was a great game, and so Wall deserves all the credit in the world for what they did.
Would you rather lose a game like that, or would you rather get blown out?
Well, I'd rather lose it like that. You know, I mean, Newton showed a ton of heart, and they're going to come back, and they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. A great program. They got 5 state titles in their history. So again, you know, Wall had to go through back-to-back 5-time state champions. I believe that Gunter is a 5-time state champion as well. So their road was so difficult, you know. And so to me, Newton showed a ton of heart, like a championship program does, you know. And so it was a great game to not only get your first state title, but in a classic finish like that. I mean, it's something that I'll remember forever as a sports writer. It's one of the best games and one of the best seasons, one of the best teams I've ever seen.
Yeah. And Newton, that Porter kid's special.
He really was, man.
He's special for him. You know, Dave Campbell's posted a post about Reed and York. Like, why don't they have more college offers? It's like, y'all aren't doing a lot. You know, y'all don't even update y'all 6-man for these small schools out here. We're going into the state semifinals, and you still have them matching up in the bi-district round. You know, and I think that's part of just being a small school is... Small school West Texas, you don't get a whole lot of publicity. You don't get a whole lot of your name out there. So you depend on your athletes taking you this far to get you noticed. I hope that Reed and York and everybody on that team starts getting offers, starts getting looks, and maybe people go back and look at film and start saying, all right, maybe we can do something here. Even if they don't want to play in the college, get a scholarship, get some help, get that secondary education, and go take care of business.
Yeah, for as long as I've lived out here, I feel like our schools, I mean, their small schools are our bread and butter. You know, we don't have Division I schools. We've only got one 6A, one 4A. So the small schools, that's what we have out here. Those are our big teams, you know. And so I've always felt like they get overshadowed. We don't have the big cities around here to give them the attention they deserve. And so, when you have a town like Wall, I think that's why the whole area rallies around them. They're kind of doing it for the whole Concho Valley,
Oh, yeah, they go back and look at their schedule. Like, oh, they played Mason. Let's go. Let's see what Mason's got. Mason made it deep this year, right? Then you start breaking it down and looking at different players, and you find diamonds in the rough everywhere, man. And West Texas is a gold mine, diamond mine, I guess. We're gonna hear a quick word from Angelo MRI, and we come back. We're gonna talk about some of the other state games.
Have you ever needed an MRI? Do you know someone that needs an MRI? And did you know that you have a choice? When your doctor orders an MRI, tell them that you choose Angelo MRI. The founders of Angelo MRI started Angelo MRI when they faced the high cost of MRIs from traditional medical facilities. That's why Angelo MRI offers a better way. A high-quality MRI for just $5.95. And Angelo MRI accepts all insurance, saving you time and money. It's your health, your money, and your choice. Angelo MRI, 4114 South Jackson in San Angelo, or look them up at angelomri.com. Remember, when your doctor orders an MRI, tell them that you choose Angelo MRI.
All right, our man Ryan Chadwick is up there at AT&T Stadium. Really, the only local media taking care of business up there. But we got some other state games to get through. The games that were played yesterday, we got Gordon and Rankin, Jayton and Richland Springs, and Hamilton and Joaquin. Gordon won 69-22. Jayton beat Richland Springs 99-54, and Hamilton beat Joaquin 21-7. Tell me about it.
Well, love the six-man games. Love seeing them to get on the big stage. First game I ever got to cover here was a six-man game. And so it's always had a special place in my heart. Rankin, they're representing West Texas, and I got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, they're up against an absolute juggernaut.
That Matthew Ramos is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job. I mean, scoring even 22 on Gordon is not easy. And then, you hear all about Gordon. Oh, man, they've got these three, potentially three D1 guys. I know two have committed to Air Force and Army, and a third's getting a lot of interest, But, man, when you actually see them out there, it's like, oh, good Lord. I mean, it's just a different level of six-man ball, these athletes. I mean, man, so I thought Rankin did as good as a job as they could. They didn't get 45 in the first half. And again, it's not just that Gordon's won 44 in a row. They've won every single one by 42 or more, except when they went and beat an 11-man team. So it's just a different team. And they joined the, pantheon of the great six-man dynasties. Only 3 six-man teams have ever won 3 in a row. You got the, Fort Hancock, they're 4 in a row back in the 80s, and then of course Richland Springs, and now Gordon 3 in a row. And so what's really exciting too next year is we've got Jayton, this year's state champion, 1AD2, moving up to 1AD1. And so could we have a dream matchup of Gordon and Jayton? I mean, I'd love to see what they can do against each other. So, but
yeah, Jayton's coming out of that first region, right? And Gordon's coming out of that fourth region. So we could potentially see that in the state championship.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an absolute dream matchup because I guess Gordon's got 44 in a row, and I think Jayton's got 30 in a row now, 29 or 30 in a row, and same thing. Richland Springs, man, I really thought they did a great job hanging with them. They were almost went into halftime down 15. Jayton scores on the last play. That Bodie Ham kid, I mean, what an absolute
10 touchdowns in one game.
10 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns. What a stud, And, I mean, Richland Springs, ton of credit to them. They Harley Etheridge takes on the head coaching job, on short notice. And a lot of the same kids that they had last year. They had a great run to the state final, and they played with Jayton. I mean, putting 50-something on Jayton is not easy. That just is, to me, it was just a showcase of how good Jayton is. And
no, Jayton jumped out to like a 31-point lead, and then Richland Springs fought back into it. They weren't going to take it. I think they got 45 with 45 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
In the game.
Jayton almost 45'd him a little earlier, and Cohen Etheridge picks it off, says, no, like on the 8-yard line. He's like, no, we're not going down like this. Then they always throw a 76-yard touchdown to stay in it, but Jayton was just too much. I kind of wish the Richland Springs didn't have to get 45. That's tough, but they 45 to 1,000 teams, and that's just the way the six-man is. That's just the way the game is. It's easy to snowball quickly. There's quick scorers, and so no shame.
Jayton was the number 1 team, though. Jayton was number 1.
They were.
And when they got beat earlier in the year against Gordon, that was also number 1 team.
Right. That's
So
their only
it's
two
not like
losses.
you're losing to no, but you're losing to state champions, you know.
Right. And dynasties, it's back-to-back state titles for Jayton now too. So two incredible teams on a combined 70-something game winning streak. And so, man, it'd be pretty awesome if they could meet next year in the state championship. That's a real dream matchup right there.
It sure would be. And Hamilton won 21-7 last night. Or not last night, Wednesday night. Thursday games, we had Munster versus Shiner. Great story for Munster. That coach, the quarterback is his son. They've won 2 state titles back-to-back. Can't really ask for a better ending than that. That's almost John Elway-esque right there.
And, man, shutting out Shiner,
sunset.
that's impressive. You saw Shiner versus Junction,
And Shiner was good, man.
Yeah.
Williams, Frick, and I can't remember the other running back's name. They stayed on it, and for Munster to shut them out, great game by Munster there. And then Yoakum beat Grandview 45-29. Wall beat Newton 25-24. And today, Stephenville beat Kilgore 10-0. What do you think? What do you think of the state game so far?
That's been pretty awesome, man. I've been enjoying it. It's great to be able to watch the games, not just see box scores or stories. It's great to see them on the big stage, getting, the big-time TV treatment and all that. It's a lot of fun, I mean, that was part of the thing with just watching Wall last night. It was neat, like, to get to watch them, and have the instant replay and the TV timeouts and all that, But, yeah, I mean, even like Hamilton, I know they're kind of few hours east of here, but they're in Ballinger's district, so they're some bit of a local feel to them. We got to see them in Ballinger when they beat us pretty bad. Obviously, not so bad now.
They're
they go on to win.
champs, dude. Come on.
Yeah, so I think that there's again, you're kind of rooting for them a little bit. It's like, hey man, they're from our district. Go ahead and win the whole thing. So that's pretty awesome for them. And then Stephenville, again, they're kind of out in our neck of the woods. They're out there, but a Central Texas team, but one of our great programs in the state. They won a bunch of state titles, and man, 10-0. I like to see a score like that because in this day and age, you see all these 50 to 60 scores, all this crazy offense, these spread offenses. It's cool to see a game like that. I'm a fan of defense, so I like seeing that. You can win a state title with 10 points. Man, great job to the Stephenville Yellow Jackets and their defense.
All right. Here, a quick word from Shelburne Financial. We'll be right back. At Shelburne Financial, you are more than just a number. They will help you plan for retirement, prepare tax documents, and more. Whether you're looking to grow your savings or plan for your future, the experienced team at Shelburne Financial is here to help you and guide you every step of the way. Give them a call at 944-9447 or head over to 3177 Executive Drive and invest in your future. All right, Paul, final thoughts here. Just your overall thoughts. Go for it.
Well, I guess I'll just say it's one of the most memorable seasons I can remember, from Central and Lakeview both having winning seasons, doing what they did, Christian Villarreal chasing history, having teams like Water Valley, Robert Lee, Richland Springs, all these great six-man teams we had, Junction and Mason doing what they did. I mean, just a super memorable season. Menard, hats off to them, too. They had an undefeated regular season until they ran into Gordon. I just feel like, man, I don't know if I can remember a better season from top to bottom. All the great years that we saw individually and as teams, and looking forward now just to recapping it with our all COVER1 teams. Kind of like you said, having to have some knife fights to decide who's going to be our MVPs and coaches of the year. No shortage of nominees for it. So looking forward to capping it off with that and moving on into basketball.
All right. And my final thoughts are: we are there. San Angelo Live is there at AT&T Stadium. Chadwick's there. We're not posting AI pictures. Our pictures are real pictures of the game. We have real clips from the game. We do care. I think last time I checked, we covered like 80-something schools this year, just from going out on Thursday to get those games. I mean, my first game was Gordon and Richland Springs, which what a great way to kick off the football season, with 2 six-man programs like that. And six-man is so just big in Texas, such an inherent part of Texas football. I loved it. Had a great season this year. Coaches, get your nominees turned in for the All COVER1 list. And